This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. So, Drew Brees, the NFL quarterback, gave an interview yesterday, and in part of the interview, he was asked a question about whether or not these protests that we're currently experiencing all over the country related to the death of George Floyd, if we're going to see a replay of players silently taking a knee in protest this season. And he gave an unbelievably daft answer that I'll play. I'm going to get to that. But I want to preface it by saying this. This is something I've talked about a lot, usually in reference to Tommy Lahren running her mouth, trying to make herself famous by attacking Colin Kaepernick. And I'm not going to talk specifically about how this must make Drew Brees' black teammates feel, knowing that he is not in solidarity with them and doesn't feel the same way about police brutality that they do, because clearly it doesn't affect him. I'm going to take a different angle on it. Anyway, let's play the interview and then pick it up on the other side.
Everyone is looking back now at Kaepernick's protests from a few years ago, and obviously they were always about police brutality, and now it's coming back to the fore, and a lot of people expect that we will see players kneeling again even when the NFL season starts. I'm curious how you think the NFL will and should respond to that, and of course, you're such a leader in the league. What is your responsibility as a leader in times like this for the rest of your teammates and players in the league?
Well, I will never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag of the United States of America or our country. Let me just tell you what I see or what I feel when the national anthem is played and when I look at the flag of the United States. I envision my two grandfathers who fought for this country during World War II, one in the Army and one in the Marine Corps, both risking their lives to protect our country and to try to make our country and this world a better place. So every time I stand with my hand over my heart, looking at that flag and singing the national anthem, that's what I think about. And in many cases, it brings me to tears, thinking about all that has been sacrificed, not just those in the military, but for that matter, those throughout the civil rights movements of the 60s, and everyone and all that has been endured by so many people up until this point. And is everything right with our country right now? No, it's not. We still have a long way to go. But I think what you do by standing there and showing respect to the flag with your hand over your heart is it shows unity. It shows that we are all in this together. We can all do better, and that we are all part of the solution.
So I'm not going to take the angle of guessing or speaking for my black brothers and sisters all across the country, who I'm sure are outraged by this stupid answer. I have a different angle because I don't have the experience. I haven't the lived experience of blacks in this country. But I do have the experience of being a veteran. I'm wearing my Marine Corps colors here. It was a gift from a listener of my podcast, Bob. Thank you, fellow Marine. And something bothers me about this Drew Brees answer, and it is the fact that I am tired as a veteran, as someone who served my country for years in the Marine Corps, tired of these fake patriots, these fake-triots, talking about how much they respect the country and the flag and the troops. It's an exercise in masturbatory patriotism. It's red meat for the hicks who love Drew Brees, the Trump ding-dongs. Listen, Drew, I don't think you're stupid. I'm not going to scream and yell and call you names. That's what I feel. I'm not going to do that. Let's address some of your points. You talk about how you respect the flag and you respect the troops because your uncle or your dad or these people in your family served. And you talk with such reverence and passion about loving and respecting them. but you didn't have enough love and passion and respect for it to actually don the uniform yourself. So maybe pipe down a little bit. Maybe don't choose to speak for veterans on this matter. Because let me tell you, being a veteran, it rings hollow, brother. It rings hollow. Our country is strong enough to withstand silent protest. Our country is strong enough to withstand violent protest. Indeed, our country was founded on violent protest, Mr. Brees. And then you yammer about the civil rights movement. Let me explain something, Drew Brees. This is the new civil rights movement. That is what we are in the midst of right now. And now we're getting a glimpse of where you may have been during the last civil rights movement. You would have been one of those people who disapproved of the March on Washington that is now universally revered, thinking that it damages the movement. They should just know their place and be quiet. And then this comment about we're all in this together. Are we all in this together, Drew Bree? Was the cop who murdered George Floyd and his 3 accomplices, were they in it with us? How about the cop who killed Eric Garner? The cop who killed Walter Scott? The cop who killed Tamir Rice? Were they all in it with us? How about Donald Trump? Is he in it with us? As he dispatches the same troops you claim to love and revere and respect. He is sending them now, dispatching them, deploying them onto the streets of America to deal with protesters the way they need to be dealt with. Answer me that with all of your reverence, because a couple of your relatives served in the military. Our troops, me included, serve so people can take a knee. The principles of our country are strong enough to withstand a few football players taking a knee during the playing of our national anthem to protest the systemic murder of black people in this country. That is what the song stands for. That is what the flag ostensibly stands for, is protest. These are our shared values. If we're in anything together, it is that. Now, my advice to you, sir, which you probably won't take because you got your point of view, is to maybe listen a little bit more. Have a sit down with those coworkers of yours, those teammates of yours, who face racial discrimination and the threat of death at the hands of a cop every single day. Every time they leave their house, driving a car. Maybe have a conversation with one of them. Maybe have a conversation with a veteran or two about why they served and what values they cherish and the oath that they swore to the Constitution. Part of the Constitution, if you don't know, I assume you're an educated man, is the First Amendment. The freedom of speech. The freedom to assemble. It's not tough. These are tough times. But just like the values for which we claim to revere, like you claim to revere, we'll get through it. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think, audience. 714-576-4054. Thank you for joining me this day and always. I'll see you next time. Until then, be genuine. Take care of one another.